Chosen one. You are not hearing these words by accident, and you did not arrive at this moment by chance. Heaven has aligned this encounter with perfect spiritual timing, and your spirit was led here because something is being activated now. They will call it luck. They will call it coincidence. They will never see the nights you wrestled with doubt, or the mornings you rose with nothing but vision and fire. But heaven saw it all, and heaven kept record. Chosen one, wealth does not respond to wishing, it responds to authority. It bows to a mind that has been trained, focused, and made unshakably clear. You were not born to be average. You were not placed here to merely survive. You are here to build, to rise, and to shape reality according to what was shown to you in the unseen. This is the hour when what was formed in thought begins to take substance, when belief matures into command. Anointed one. Scripture says the vision awaits its appointed time, and it will not lie. This is that edge, that threshold where preparation meets release. You are standing at the doorway of a supernatural shift, where elevation, provision, and divine transfer respond not to striving, but to alignment. What is coming is not rushed, and it is not forced. It moves with precision. God's reminders do not always arrive through noise or explanation. Sometimes they come as something quiet, steady, and faithful that remains when everything else fades. What has been prepared rests gently below, waiting in stillness. Chosen one. Before anything shifts on the outside, heaven always begins with the mind. I have learned this the hard way, through seasons where my hands were working but nothing was moving, where effort was high but results stayed silent. That was when I understood this truth. Wealth does not respond to pressure, it responds to alignment. And alignment always begins in the unseen places of thought, belief, and inner authority. Chosen one, you are being called to train your mind to think, act, and believe like someone who already carries the weight of provision. Not pretending, not wishing, becoming. There is a difference. When you can hold the image of what you are building so clearly that it follows you into silence, into rest, into the quiet moments no one sees, something begins to shift. I have felt it myself. When the vision becomes more real than the fear, resistance starts losing its grip. Wealth does not fight clarity, it yields to it. Anointed one, this is not about speed. Heaven is never rushed. This is not about shortcuts, formulas, or tricks hidden behind noise. This is about identity, about becoming the kind of person whose thoughts carry direction, whose inner world has order, whose decisions move with intention. Every real fortune I have ever studied, and every meaningful breakthrough I have witnessed, started long before money appeared. It started with someone deciding, quietly and firmly, that their life would no longer drift. Chosen one, your mind is not a suggestion box, it is a command center. When it is crowded with fear, doubt, and distraction, no amount of effort can compensate. I have tried. Hustle without clarity only multiplies exhaustion. But when the mind is saturated with belief, when it is anchored in purpose and disciplined by direction, even repeated failure loses its power to stop you. Failure becomes information, delay becomes training, silence becomes instruction. Anointed one, wealth is first created in the unseen. It is born in solitude, in those moments when no one applauds you and no one interrupts your thoughts. It begins the moment you decide that your life will not be ordinary, and you back that decision with faith that does not bend every time circumstances speak louder. Scripture reminds us that the vision waits for its appointed time, and it will speak. But the waiting is not passive, it is formative. Chosen one, most people never train their mind. They wake up reacting, They absorb the fears of the world like static, tuning themselves to every frequency of limitation. I used to do the same, letting headlines, opinions, and past mistakes write the story of the day, and then wondering why opportunity passed by untouched. The answer was not outside me, it was inside my thought patterns. Authority had never been claimed. Anointed one, guarding your mind is not aggression, it is stewardship. Like a king who knows that whoever enters the gate influences the entire kingdom, you must choose what thoughts are allowed to stay. Scarcity speaks loudly. It says, "This is too much. This is not for people like you." I have heard that voice. But abundance begins quietly. It whispers that there is more, that there is a way, that alignment creates access. Chosen one, those who walk in provision think differently. They do not ask if something is affordable, they ask how something can be built. They do not see problems as walls, but as assignments. I remember seasons when every obstacle felt like a rejection. Now I see that each one was training my thinking, sharpening my focus, teaching me to solve instead of retreat. Failure was never defeat, it was refinement. Anointed one, transformation begins when you reclaim the early moments of your day. Before the noise, before the opinions, before the urgency. There is power in deciding your direction before the world demands your attention. Living with your thoughts. Choosing your narrative. Designing your life deliberately, like an architect who knows the weight of every beam. Not hoping, deciding. Chosen one, the wealth you seek is not outside you. It is waiting on the other side of discipline. Discipline of thought, discipline of focus, discipline of repetition. Not once, not occasionally, daily. Because success is not a destination, it is a rhythm. And when your mind locks into that rhythm, reality begins to respond. You will be tested. I was. Doubt will speak. People will question you. Progress will feel slow. But a trained mind does not collapse under pressure. It adapts. And that is when provision begins to recognize you. Not because you chased it, but because you became someone it could trust. This is where the roots are formed. Quietly, intentionally, in the unseen. Chosen one. There is a moment when the mind must be reclaimed, not negotiated with. I remember the season when I realized I had been working hard but thinking loosely. My actions were disciplined, but my inner world was scattered, and heaven showed me this quietly. Wealth responds to precision. It moves toward minds that think deliberately, not casually, toward people who choose their thoughts instead of absorbing them. This is why training the mind is not optional. It is foundational. Most people live as reactors. They wake up already behind, already absorbing fear, noise, urgency, and comparison before they have spoken one intentional thought. I lived there once, letting yesterday's disappointment, other people's opinions, and the volume of the world decide the tone of my day. And I wondered why nothing shifted. But the truth is this: if you do not author your inner world, something else will. And whatever authors your thoughts, eventually authors your results. Anointed one, Scripture speaks of renewing the mind, not as poetry, but as instruction. Renewal is not passive. It is active replacement. You do not simply remove scarcity thinking. You replace it with ordered vision. You do not silence doubt by fighting it. You starve it by feeding clarity. I learned that clarity is not loud, it is calm. And when clarity settles in the mind, decision becomes easier. Fear loses its grip and direction sharpens. Your mind is the soil. Everything you experience grows from it. If the soil is crowded with fear, gossip, distraction, and small thinking, nothing sustainable can take root. But when it is cultivated with belief, focus, and burning purpose, even repeated failure cannot kill what is planted there. I have failed more times than I can count, but failure stopped breaking me the moment I stopped letting it define my thinking. It became data, not identity. Anointed one, wealth is first formed in silence. Not in crowds, not in applause, in the unseen moments where no one affirms you, but you still choose alignment. Those quiet hours taught me more than any public win. They trained my mind to listen instead of react, to see opportunity where others only saw delay. Heaven often speaks softly because authority does not need volume. You must claim authority over your thoughts. Doubt may knock, but it does not have to stay. Scarcity may whisper, but it does not get the final word. Like a king who understands that whoever enters the city shapes the culture, you must guard what is allowed to pass through your mind. This is the training ground. Quiet, unseen, formative, chosen one. Discipline is where most people misunderstand heaven. They think discipline is restriction, but discipline is alignment. It is not punishment, it is preparation. Every time you choose focus over distraction, structure over chaos, intention over impulse, you are tuning your mind to a different frequency. I have felt this shift personally. Life did not suddenly become easier, but it became clearer, and clarity is power. The wealth you desire is not hiding from you, it is waiting on the other side of consistency. Not intensity, consistency. Training the mind daily to see abundance where others see lack, to persist when others fold, to remain anchored when emotions fluctuate. Success is not a moment you arrive at, it is a rhythm you live inside of. When your mind locks into that rhythm, reality begins to respond. Anointed one, you will be tested. I was tested in ways that did not look spiritual at all. Bills, delays, silence, rejection, moments where nothing seemed to move. But a trained mind does not interpret delay as denial. It interprets it as formation. Faith is not proven in abundance, it is forged in uncertainty. And when the mind is anchored in faith, discipline and action, pressure no longer breaks you, it sharpens you. Do not be deceived by appearances. The world glorifies outcomes and hides roots. Fast success, loud wins, shiny results. But the roots of real wealth grow in unglamorous habits, early mornings, quiet decisions, repeated discipline when no one is watching. I learned that showing up consistently in obscurity builds an inner strength that money cannot buy, but always follows. Anointed one, wealth is a frequency, and the mind is the transmitter. Every word you repeat internally is a broadcast. Scarcity spreads through phrases like, I cannot, it is too much. People like me do not get that. I used to speak that language without realizing it, and every time I did, I reinforced chains I was never meant to wear. Abundance begins quietly. It says there is more, there is enough, there is a way. Clarity is the beginning of authority. Until you know exactly what you are building, the mind scatters. But when vision sharpens, movement follows. This is where identity begins to shift, from surviving to building, from reacting to deciding. This is the crossing point, from hoping to aligning. Chosen one. There is a phase where the promise is no longer exciting, but it is still alive. The fire has quieted, the vision has settled, and what remains is endurance. This is the stretch where many lose heart, not because they stopped believing, but because believing has required more patience than they expected. I have stood in this place, waking up knowing what was shown, yet seeing little evidence of movement, carrying certainty without applause. Learning that faith does not always roar. Sometimes it breathes. Anointed one, waiting is not absence, it is maturation. There are things that cannot arrive until the inner frame is strong enough to hold them. I learned this during ordinary days, days that looked repetitive. Same responsibilities, same pressure, same quiet prayers. Nothing dramatic, nothing viral. Yet something unseen was being reinforced. Endurance does not feel spiritual while you are in it. It feels human. It feels like showing up tired and choosing alignment anyway. Chosen one. There are mornings when faith is not emotional, it is practical. You do what you said you would do, even when the feeling is gone. You return to the same disciplines, you speak the same truths, you hold the same line. I remember days when the only evidence of belief was consistency. No signs, no confirmation, just the decision to not abandon what heaven had planted. That kind of faith does not impress crowds, but it builds roots that cannot be shaken. Anointed one, endurance is where identity is tested. When the promise delays, old thoughts try to return. Maybe it was too big, maybe you misheard, maybe this was meant for someone else. I have heard those whispers. They sound reasonable when fatigue sets in, but this is where remembrance matters. You remember what was shown, you remember how clearly it landed, you remember the peace that came with it before the pressure arrived. Memory becomes an anchor. Chosen one. Faith matures when it learns to return. Return to stillness, return to clarity, return to the original knowing. Not to reanalyze, but to recenter. I have found that the strongest moments of belief did not come from new information. They came from revisiting what was already true. The mind tries to chase novelty. The spirit grows through consistency. This is why endurance reshapes you quietly, without spectacle. Anointed one, the waiting season exposes how you relate to time. Urgency wants everything now. Faith understands timing. There were seasons when I pushed too hard, trying to force movement, mistaking pressure for progress. Nothing flowed until I learned to move at the pace of alignment. Heaven is never late, but it is rarely rushed. What is being prepared for you is not fragile, it is precise. Chosen one. Fatigue does not mean failure. It means you have been carrying weight, and weight is evidence of responsibility, not weakness. Even those called for provision grow tired in the middle. What matters is not the presence of tiredness, but the choice to remain steady. Endurance is not dramatic, it is faithful repetition. It is returning to the same posture, even when the outcome feels distant. Anointed one, there were moments when all I could do was keep the promise I made to myself when I was clear. I did not feel powerful, I felt consistent. And over time, consistency rebuilt confidence. Confidence restored peace. Peace reopened clarity. This is how endurance works. It circles back to strength without announcing itself. Chosen one. Faith is often steadied through simple, repeatable reminders rather than constant explanation or dramatic signs. And I became aware of this only after the noise quieted. A gentle reminder connected to this has been placed in the pinned comment below. And still, the work continues in the unseen. Anointed one, perseverance does not demand constant effort. It requires faithful return. When you drift, you return. When you doubt, you return. When you are tired, you return. Not to emotion, but to alignment. The promise does not move away because you rest. It waits. It matures alongside you. Chosen one. The waiting season teaches you how to carry abundance without panic. It stretches your patience so provision does not overwhelm you when it arrives. I see now that what felt like delay was actually reinforcement. Weak structures collapse under sudden weight. Strong ones are built slowly. Heaven is strengthening what will hold the future. Anointed one, you are not behind. You are being steadied. You are not forgotten. You are being fortified. The same consistency that feels unnoticed is shaping the kind of inner authority that does not break under pressure. And when the moment comes, you will recognize it not by excitement, but by peace. Chosen one. This is the stretch where faith becomes quiet and unmovable, where endurance replaces urgency, where trust no longer needs constant reassurance. And from this place, what has been forming will soon have room to arrive. Chosen one. There comes a point in the journey where the promise is no longer the battle, your own capacity is. The vision has not changed, the calling has not weakened, but the weight of carrying something invisible for so long begins to press against the soul. I have known this weariness, the kind that does not come from disbelief, but from holding belief without relief. And yet, this is the exact terrain where strength is formed, not the loud kind, the enduring kind. Anointed one, heaven watches how you handle the middle, not the beginning when excitement is high, and not the end when reward is visible. The middle is where character is distilled. The middle is where intention is purified. The middle is where I learned that faith is not proven by how passionately you start, but by how quietly you remain. When emotions settle, when affirmation disappears, when no one is asking how your journey is going, you continue anyway. Chosen one. There were days when I questioned whether anything was moving at all, days when my prayers felt like they fell to the floor, days when discipline felt empty and the promise felt distant. But what I did not see then was that heaven was teaching me to walk by alignment, not by evidence, by truth, not by temperature, by conviction, not by comfort. The unseen work was never silent, it was strategic. Anointed one, this is where refinement happens, not in glory, but in grinding faith, not in the mountaintop declarations, but in the quiet moments where you choose hope, even though your hands are tired. You choose clarity, even though your mind wants rest. You choose belief, even though you have run out of reasons. This is where faith becomes spiritual muscle, painful at first, powerful later. Chosen one, waiting shapes you into someone who can hold wealth without losing peace. Someone who can rise without forgetting the ground that taught them discipline. Someone who carries authority not because they talk loud, but because they have survived long seasons where only heaven could sustain them. Such endurance is not something you can fake. It is earned in the long nights when you could have quit but did not. Anointed one, your consistency is speaking loudly in the spirit even when it looks quiet on earth. Heaven is not measuring your pace. Heaven is measuring your posture. Every time you choose to show up in truth, in alignment, in discipline, something in the invisible realm shifts closer. You may not feel it, but it is happening. You are not waiting alone. Heaven waits with you, shaping what you will soon carry. Chosen one, this is the sacred part of the journey, the slow, uncelebrated stretch where you are being prepared for a season that requires more stability than excitement, more focus than emotion, more wisdom than intensity. This is where the promise becomes not just something you desire, but something you can sustain. This is the deep work, quiet, deliberate, holy, and you are in the center of it, chosen one. There is a turning that happens inside long before anything turns outside. A shift so subtle you almost miss it. A moment where your spirit stops asking when and begins to understand why the waiting mattered. I felt this shift on an ordinary morning. Nothing special, nothing dramatic. I simply realized I was no longer striving. I was steady. And that steadiness was a sign that the promise had taken root. Anointed one, when endurance matures, something powerful awakens. You start moving differently, not faster, not louder, clearer. The confusion that once clouded your path begins to dissolve. The fear that once haunted your decisions loses its influence. You stop feeling pressured to prove anything. You simply know who you are becoming, and that knowing guides every choice. Chosen one. Alignment becomes natural. Discernment becomes instinctive. You stop entertaining thoughts that once drained you. You stop accepting environments that once limited you. You stop tolerating conversations that once diluted your focus. The mind trained in faith begins to reject what does not match the frequency of the promise. Not out of arrogance, out of spiritual maturity. Anointed one, heaven trusts those who have been refined by waiting. Because waiting teaches you what to value. It breaks false attachments. It reveals hidden motives. It strengthens weak foundations. In my own life, I discovered that the delay removed things I would have clung to prematurely and added things I would have overlooked too quickly. Timing was not punishment, it was protection. Chosen one, this inner shift is the doorway. The moment when lack no longer defines you, even before abundance arrives. When fear no longer leads you, even before clarity fully forms. When you stop living as a survivor and begin walking as a steward of what is coming. Wealth does not enter chaos, it enters order, and everything within you is being ordered to receive. Anointed one, the mind that is trained becomes a magnet. Not because of desire, but because of alignment. The promise begins to draw closer because you finally resemble the version of yourself who can handle it. This is the mystery of heaven's timing. When you stop chasing, you start receiving. When you stop grasping, you start attracting. When you stop fearing, you start flowing. Chosen one. And soon, you will notice small shifts first. Subtle confirmations, internal clarity, unexpected calm, doors that once resisted you beginning to feel softer at the hinge. Conversations aligning without force, nudges appearing in moments that feel strangely intentional. Nothing dramatic at first, just signs that the spiritual ground beneath you is moving. Anointed one, what is forming for you is not shallow provision, it is structural elevation. It is the kind of abundance that reshapes lineage, restores confidence, and rewrites identity. You are not being prepared for increase alone. You are being prepared for responsibility, for impact, for stewardship that carries weight and legacy. Chosen one. This is the moment where the inner and outer begin to meet, where what heaven formed in you begins drawing what heaven stored for you, where identity and inheritance step into the same space. And when they do, nothing can stop the release. This is the place where the ground begins to tremble before the breakthrough. Chosen one. There comes a point where the atmosphere around you begins to respond to the work that has been happening within you. You may not see the full manifestation yet, but you can feel the air shifting. Conversations sound different. Your spirit reacts differently. The same situations that once overwhelmed you now reveal hidden paths forward. This is the evidence that your inner alignment has started to influence your outer environment. Anointed one, heaven always moves inward before it moves outward, and when the inward work reaches maturity, life itself begins to adjust to the new frequency you carry. I remember the first time I noticed this. The problems didn't vanish, but they lost their authority. The pressure didn't disappear, but it no longer dictated my decisions. I had changed. And because I had changed, the world around me no longer recognized the old version of me it used to resist. Chosen one. When the trained mind begins to walk in confidence, opportunities sense it. When your spirit grows quiet and anchored, uncertainty loses its grip. When your identity becomes rooted, the old patterns that once tried to cling to you can no longer hold. This is the season where heaven is positioning you, not through sudden miracles, but through strategic shifts that feel almost invisible unless you are paying attention. Anointed one, increase does not always announce itself loudly. Sometimes it arrives through clarity in places you once felt confused. Sometimes through a connection that seems casual but carries divine timing. Sometimes through release from habits, distractions, emotional loops, or narratives that no longer match your becoming. Heaven knows you cannot carry future abundance with old patterns attached, and so the pruning appears subtle but necessary. Chosen one. This is also the point where discernment becomes crucial. Not everything that opens is your door, and not every opportunity carrying your name belongs to your assignment. Your training has sharpened your instincts. You will feel a difference now, not in the mind, but in the spirit. Some things you used to want no longer fit. Some paths you once chased now feel too small. Some people you once leaned on now feel misaligned. This is not rejection, it is refinement. Anointed one, heaven is not elevating you into random increase. You are being aligned with purposeful abundance, wealth that has direction, influence that has integrity, favor that has foundation. And because of that, every step into the next season is intentionally measured. You are not being rushed, you are being positioned. Chosen one. As you move through this transition, there will be moments where you feel both the weight of what is leaving and the pull of what is coming. This tension is natural. It is the stretching of identity, the shedding of what was once comfortable, the expansion into what is now required. Do not misinterpret this tension as instability. It is proof that the old container can no longer hold who you are becoming. You are approaching the threshold where inner formation meets outer fulfillment. This is the season where destiny begins to breathe. Chosen one. There is a stillness that comes right before breakthrough, not the stillness of absence, but the stillness of preparation. A holy quiet forms around those who are about to step into divine release. You may feel it now, a sense that something is drawing near, a weight that is not heavy but present, a knowing without explanation. This is not imagination, this is alignment reaching maturity. Anointed one. Heaven does not rush destiny. When the time comes, it arrives whole, complete, integrated, fully formed, and you have been shaped for this moment through every season of obedience, endurance, silence, and unseen transformation. Nothing was wasted. Not one delay, not one disappointment, not one prayer that seemed to fall into emptiness. Each one was forming spiritual architecture inside you. Chosen one. Breakthrough is not just what comes to you. Breakthrough is what you become. You become someone whose thoughts no longer sabotage their steps. Someone whose faith no longer collapses at the first sign of resistance. Someone whose identity no longer wavers based on external validation. You become someone heaven can trust with weight, financial weight, spiritual weight, generational weight. Anointed one, this next season is not fragile, it is fortified, because you are fortified. The foundation beneath you is not shallow emotion, but spiritual resilience. The clarity within you is not temporary motivation, but identity anchored in truth. And because of this, what is coming will not slip through your hands like what slipped through before. You are ready in a way you were not ready then. Chosen one. And now the atmosphere around your life begins to thin. The resistance grows weaker. The path ahead becomes clearer. The internal noise quiets. What once felt blocked now feels possible. What once felt far now feels near. This is the subtle shift that happens when heaven prepares to release what it has been holding, not because you chased it, but because you became aligned with it. Anointed one, the promise is not approaching you, it is responding to you. Responding to your endurance, responding to your alignment, responding to the training of your mind and the strengthening of your spirit. You have crossed from hoping into embodying, from waiting into readiness, from becoming into walking. Chosen one, you are nearing the place where the unseen will meet the seen, where what was internal becomes external, where what was whispered becomes visible. This is the moment where spiritual preparation reaches its tipping point, and when it tips, everything moves. Chosen one. As this message draws to a close, hear this with your spirit. You are standing in your appointed hour, the very threshold where heaven-trained thought becomes heaven-released provision. What you have been shaping in the unseen is beginning to rise in the seen. The mind you have disciplined, the faith you have guarded, the alignment you have chosen, these are not small things. They are the signals that your Kairos moment has already begun to unfold. Anointed one, the supernatural transfer is not approaching you. It has already set itself in motion. Walk forward now with the calm authority of someone chosen, someone prepared, someone entrusted with a mantle that cannot be shaken by circumstance. May strength settle into your spirit. May clarity fill your thoughts. May abundance respond to the new frequency you carry. Heaven recognizes you. If this word stirred something in you, you may share it or speak in the comments what your spirit is stepping into next. A quiet reminder has been placed gently in the pinned comment or description for the moments when your heart needs steadiness more than noise. Chosen one, go in grace, go in purpose, and go in the fullness of the wealth you were born to walk in.